Feeling anxious? You're not alone. In today's fast-paced world, anxiety is more common than ever. But what if I told you that ancient wisdom holds the key to modern-day peace of mind? Stoicism, a philosophy practiced by great minds like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, offers powerful tools to manage anxiety and regain control of your thoughts. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic principles can help you reduce anxiety and live with greater resilience. Ready to transform your mindset? Let's dive in. Section 1. Understanding anxiety through Stoicism. Anxiety is a universal human experience, but in today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, it feels more pervasive than ever. We worry about the future, obsess over the past, and stress about things that are often beyond our control. The Stoics, however, offer a timeless perspective that can help us navigate these feelings with greater clarity and calm. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that our suffering doesn't come from external events, but from how we interpret and react to them. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple yet profound statement lays the foundation for understanding anxiety through a Stoic lens. Anxiety often arises when we focus on things outside our control, whether it's the outcome of a job interview, the opinions of others, or even global events. The Stoics believed that peace of mind comes from redirecting our attention to what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. This shift in focus is the essence of the Stoic principle known as the dichotomy of control. For example, imagine you're worried about an upcoming presentation. You might feel anxious because you're fixating on how your audience will perceive you or whether you'll make a mistake. These are things you can't fully control. But what you can control is how thoroughly you prepare, how you manage your nerves, and how you respond if something goes wrong. By focusing on these actionable steps, you reclaim your power and reduce the grip of anxiety. The Stoics also remind us that much of our anxiety stems from our attachment to specific outcomes. We want things to go a certain way, and when they don't, we feel distressed. But life is inherently unpredictable, and trying to control the uncontrollable only leads to frustration. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to embrace uncertainty and focus on cultivating inner resilience. In essence, understanding anxiety through Stoicism means recognizing that our thoughts and perceptions are the root of our emotional struggles. By shifting our focus to what we can control and accepting what we cannot, we can begin to untangle the knots of anxiety and find a deeper sense of peace. This Stoic approach doesn't promise to eliminate anxiety entirely. After all, it's a natural human emotion. But it does offer a framework for managing anxiety in a way that empowers us to live with greater clarity, purpose, and resilience. Section 2. The Dichotomy of Control. The dichotomy of control is one of the most practical and transformative principles in Stoic philosophy. It's a simple yet profound idea. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. By learning to distinguish between the two, we can free ourselves from unnecessary worry and focus our energy on what truly matters. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus introduced this concept in his Enchiridion, where he wrote, "Some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power are our body, property, reputation, office, and, in a word, whatever is not of our own doing." In other words, the only things we truly control are our thoughts, choices, and actions. Everything else, other people's opinions, the weather, the past, the future, is outside our control. When we try to control the uncontrollable, we set ourselves up for frustration, disappointment, and anxiety. How the dichotomy of control reduces anxiety. Anxiety often arises when we focus on things we can't control. For example, a worrying about whether you'll get a promotion, a stressing over what others think of you, a fearing that something bad might happen in the future. These are all external factors that lie outside your control. The more you fixate on them, the more powerless and anxious you feel. The dichotomy of control teaches us to redirect our attention to what we can control. For instance, instead of worrying about the promotion, focus on doing your best work and improving your skills. Instead of obsessing over others' opinions, focus on being kind, honest, and authentic. Instead of fearing the future, focus on taking small, meaningful actions today. This shift in perspective doesn't just reduce anxiety, it empowers you to take charge of your life. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, You free up mental and emotional energy to focus on what truly matters. Practical application. The job interview example. Let's revisit the example of waiting for the results of a job interview. This is a situation that naturally triggers anxiety because the outcome is uncertain and outside your control. Here's how the dichotomy of control can help. 1. Identify what's outside your control. Oh, the hiring manager's decision. Oh, the qualifications of other candidates. Oh, the company's internal policies or budget constraints. 2. Identify what's within your control. Oh, how well you prepared for the interview. Oh, how you presented yourself during the interview. Oh, how you follow up with a thank you note. Oh, how you handle the waiting period, e.g., staying productive or practicing self-care. 3. Focus on what you can control. Remind yourself, I did my best with what I could control. The outcome is not up to me, and that's okay. Whatever happens, I'll handle it. By accepting what's outside your control and focusing on what's within it, you reduce the mental burden of anxiety. You also cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience, knowing that you've done your part and can adapt to whatever comes next. The power of acceptance. A key aspect of the dichotomy of control is acceptance. The Stoics believed that resisting reality only leads to suffering. When we accept what we cannot change, we free ourselves from the struggle and find peace. For example, if you're stuck in traffic and running late, getting angry or anxious won't change the situation. But accepting the delay and using the time wisely, e.g., listening to a podcast or practicing deep breathing, can turn a frustrating experience into a productive or even enjoyable one. A Stoic exercise. Daily reflection. To practice the dichotomy of control, try this simple exercise at the end of each day. 1. Write down 3 things that caused you anxiety or stress. 2. For each item, ask yourself, was this within my control? 3. If it was within your control, reflect on how you can improve your response next time. 4. If it was outside your control, remind yourself to let it go and focus on what you can control. Over time, this practice will help you develop a clearer understanding of where to direct your energy and how to let go of unnecessary worries. The dichotomy of control is not about giving up or being passive. It's about recognizing the limits of your power and focusing your efforts where they can make a real difference. By embracing this principle, you can reduce anxiety, build resilience, and live with greater intention and purpose. Section 3. Negative visualization. Preparing for the worst. Negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum, Latin for premeditation of evils, is one of the most powerful Stoic techniques for building resilience and reducing anxiety. At first glance, it might seem counterintuitive. Why would imagining the worst-case scenario help you feel better? But as the Stoics understood, this practice is not about dwelling on negativity. It's about preparing yourself mentally and emotionally for life's uncertainties. The purpose of negative visualization. The Stoic philosopher Seneca famously said, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming." In other words, by imagining potential challenges or losses, you can reduce their emotional impact and prepare yourself to handle them with grace and composure. Negative visualization serves 3 key purposes. 1. Building resilience. By mentally rehearsing difficult situations, you become less afraid of them. You realize that even if the worst happens, you can cope. 2. Cultivating gratitude. Imagining the loss of what you have, whether it's your health, relationships, or possessions, helps you appreciate them more deeply. 3. Reducing anxiety. When you confront your fears head-on, they lose their power over you. You realize that many of the things you worry about are either unlikely to happen or manageable if they do. How negative visualization works. The practice involves deliberately imagining the worst-case scenario in a given situation. For example, if you're anxious about public speaking, imagine forgetting your lines or being met with silence after your presentation. If you're worried about losing your job, imagine what you would do if it happened. How you would update your resume, network, or explore new opportunities. If you're fearful of losing a loved one, reflect on the impermanence of life and how you would honor their memory. The key is not to dwell on the fear, but to focus on how you would respond. This mental rehearsal helps you develop a plan of action and strengthens your emotional resilience. Example: public speaking anxiety. Let's say you're anxious about an upcoming presentation. Here's how you could apply negative visualization. 1. Imagine the worst-case scenario. Oh, you forget your lines. Oh, the audience looks bored or unimpressed. Oh, your technology fails, and your slides don't work. 2. Visualize your response. Oh, if you forget your lines, you pause, take a deep breath, and continue from where you left off. Oh, if the audience seems disengaged, you ask a question or share a personal story to reconnect with them. Oh, if your technology fails, you calmly switch to a backup plan or deliver your presentation without slides. 3. Reflect on the outcome. Remind yourself that even if the worst happens, it's not the end of the world. You can handle it, and the experience will make you stronger. By mentally preparing for these challenges, you reduce the fear of the unknown and increase your confidence in your ability to adapt. The role of gratitude. Negative visualization also helps you appreciate what you have. For example, if you're anxious about your financial situation, imagine losing everything: your home, your savings, your possessions. Then, reflect on how fortunate you are to have what you currently have. This practice shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already possess, fostering a sense of gratitude and contentment. A Stoic exercise. Daily practice. To incorporate negative visualization into your daily life, try this simple exercise. 1. Choose a situation that makes you anxious or a possession you value deeply. 2. Close your eyes and imagine the worst-case scenario. 3. Visualize how you would respond, what steps you would take, how you would cope emotionally, and what you would learn from the experience. 4. Reflect on what you currently have and express gratitude for it. For example, if you're worried about your health, imagine being diagnosed with a serious illness. Visualize how you would seek treatment, lean on loved ones for support, and find meaning in the experience. Then, take a moment to appreciate your current health and the steps you can take to maintain it. Why it reduces anxiety. Negative visualization works because it confronts your fears head-on. Anxiety often thrives on uncertainty, the what-ifs that swirl in your mind. By imagining the worst-case scenario and planning your response, you replace uncertainty with clarity and fear with preparedness. This practice also helps you develop a Stoic mindset, the ability to accept whatever happens and focus on what you can control. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, challenges are not obstacles but opportunities to grow and strengthen your character. Negative visualization is not about pessimism or dwelling on negativity. It's about preparing yourself for life's uncertainties and cultivating a mindset of resilience, gratitude, and acceptance. By practicing this technique regularly, you can reduce anxiety, build emotional strength, and face life's challenges with greater confidence and calm. Section 4. Practicing mindfulness and acceptance. Stoicism teaches us to live in the present moment and accept reality as it is, rather than resisting it. Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This fundamental Stoic principle reminds us that while external events may be beyond our control, our thoughts, reactions, and interpretations remain within our power. When we resist reality or dwell on what we cannot change, we create unnecessary suffering. Instead, by practicing mindfulness and acceptance, we cultivate inner peace and resilience. Mindfulness as a Stoic practice. Mindfulness, the act of being fully present and observing thoughts without judgment, is deeply aligned with Stoicism. The Stoics encouraged self-awareness, rational thinking, and detachment from destructive emotions. When anxious or negative thoughts arise, a Stoic approach would be to recognize them, acknowledge them without resistance, and let them pass like clouds in the sky. By doing so, we avoid being controlled by emotions and instead respond with clarity and wisdom. This practice helps us stay grounded, especially in stressful situations. Practical Stoic mindfulness exercise. Next time you feel anxious, overwhelmed, or caught in negative thinking, try this Stoic-inspired mindfulness technique. 1. Pause and take a deep breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly. This slows down your nervous system and creates space between you and your thoughts. 2. Observe your thoughts as if they are passing clouds. Imagine your thoughts as clouds drifting across the sky. Do not chase them, judge them, or resist them. Simply watch them come and go. 3. Remind yourself, this is just a thought, not reality. Recognize that thoughts are not facts. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. 4. Shift your focus to the present moment. Ask yourself, what is within my control right now? Engage fully in the present rather than dwelling on the past or future. The power of acceptance. Acceptance does not mean passive resignation. It means acknowledging reality and choosing a wise response. The Stoics believed that resisting what is beyond our control only leads to unnecessary frustration. Instead, we should embrace life as it comes, adapting with wisdom and strength. Epictetus taught, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. By accepting what we cannot change and focusing on our thoughts and actions, we gain a sense of freedom. This shift in perspective empowers us to respond to challenges with resilience and inner peace. Mindfulness and acceptance are not just techniques but a way of life. The more we practice them, the more naturally they shape our thinking. Each moment presents an opportunity to detach from unhelpful thoughts, embrace reality, and live with greater clarity and purpose. Try the Stoic mindfulness exercise today, and notice how it transforms your response to anxiety and stress. As Marcus Aurelius said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. By cultivating mindfulness and acceptance, you develop true inner strength, the kind that no external circumstance can shake. By applying Stoic principles like the dichotomy of control, negative visualization, and mindfulness, you can transform anxiety into strength. Stoicism doesn't aim to eliminate anxiety entirely, because emotions are a natural part of being human, but rather to help us manage it with wisdom and resilience. The dichotomy of control teaches us to focus only on what we can control and let go of the rest, freeing us from unnecessary worry. Negative visualization prepares us mentally for challenges, reducing fear of the unknown. Mindfulness, as practiced by the Stoics, helps us observe our thoughts without being overwhelmed by them. The Stoics remind us that while we can't control everything, we can always control how we respond. Instead of seeing anxiety as a weakness, treat it as an opportunity to practice Stoic discipline, strengthen your mind, and grow in wisdom. Each moment of struggle is a chance to build inner strength, just as a blade is sharpened through resistance. So, the next time anxiety strikes, pause, reflect, and respond like a Stoic, with calm, clarity, and purpose. If you found these Stoic techniques helpful, be sure to like this video and share it with someone who might need this wisdom. Anxiety is something we all experience, but with the right mindset and tools, we can learn to manage it and grow stronger. Subscribe to our channel for more Stoic motivation, timeless philosophy, and practical strategies for personal growth. We're building a community of like-minded individuals who want to cultivate resilience, wisdom, and inner peace. We'd love to hear from you. How do you deal with anxiety? Do you use any Stoic techniques, or do you have other strategies that help? Drop a comment below and join the conversation. Thanks for watching, and remember, true strength comes from mastering your mind, not controlling the outside world. See you in the next video.